So it's not for kids.
Maybe we should get Tom's Survivor takes, because you've mostly been exposed via me.
Sure, yeah. Let's hear it, Tom. What's your first impressions of Survivor?
All I can say about Survivor so far, having seen only 2 episodes, is I'm really curious how many challenges simply end with what looks like a child's wooden block puzzle. Because it's
That's
like
a fair critique.
It's a giant wooden block puzzle, and it's like very curvy. It's like much more than a 5-year-old could handle. But
Tom, I would like for you to try one of these puzzles, because the second one was really hard. That episode 2 puzzle was hard as hell. But that is a fair critique. There's a lot of puzzles. It didn't used to be that way.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, like, growing up, I would always kind of see it on TV. Like, my parents would maybe be watching it. So I always remember seeing, like, the scenes at the tribal council and being like, what the fuck's going on? Making no sense of it.
It is funny that the puzzle is, like, the brains part.
Yeah.
Because, like, to me, I don't associate puzzles with being smart.
Oh, really? That's so funny.
I know plenty of people who are amazing at puzzles, and, like...
and the biggest dumbasses in the world.
So basically, you're saying that me doing the puzzles on Survivor was unimpressive.
No, I'm not. I'm saying it's not correlated.
Yeah. You know, honestly, like, my take is, like, the people who are good at the puzzles on Survivor are people who are good under pressure, because it's just really stressful. You just have to be good at, like, performing under, like, insane conditions where everything's on the line just for the puzzle, because it's always the last thing. It's always the equalizer. So it's really just, like, about pressure more than, like, I don't honestly love, like, I'm not someone who's, like, home doing puzzles, but, like, I got nominated to do this in Survivor, and then we had a lot of success, so I just kept doing it.
Yeah.
Like, someone who, like, I feel like meditates every day would probably be better at the puzzle than someone who, like, thinks that they're really good at solving logic problems.
People who are good at spatial awareness are not necessarily the same people who are good at crunching numbers.
Totally.
Or the same people who do, like, logic puzzles, like you said.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
One of my big pet peeves in board games is, like, when people are self-deprecating of, like, oh, I'm not very smart because I can't learn rules.
Oh, I hate that too.
I love learning rules. We talked about it before. Like, I read rules before I go to bed, but that's because I'm, like, a pervert, you know? Like, it doesn't have anything to do with
he's like in his nightcap and gown. Yeah. He's got, like, the little, like,
I mean, that's another level of loving rules. I would say I don't, like, love rules in general. Like, I'm a little bit of a push the boundary kind of person, but I do hate that when people are like, don't want to learn how to play the board game. I'm like, well, why are this is what it is. Like, there's games have rules. You have to learn them in order to play it. So it's like, just sit here and, like, pay attention for, like, 3 minutes. Not that hard.
Or the classic, somebody's teaching and someone else is on their phone, and then afterwards they're like, oh, you never said that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, no.
Or, like, I'll just learn as I go. I'm like, you won't when it's, like, not life. You know what I mean? You could learn Candyland as you go, but you can't learn some of these other games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you kind of have to internalize something before you get started.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What was the other thought that I was having? Oh, yeah, I was like, what the fuck do they eat on this?
We don't eat.
Is like bowls of rice even, or nothing?
Not anymore.
Like, oh,
so
really?
Like, in the old time of Survivor, it used to be 39 days, and they would, most of the time, not always, give them rice. So they would have to, like, ration throughout the whole season. Now, but they changed it to 26 days post-COVID, and they've kept it. So it's, like, faster paced and less food. The supplies you can win is flint, pot, and a machete. We lost, so we didn't have that for 3 days, so there's not even fire. So literally all we were doing was opening coconuts on rocks and eating a little bit of coconut. Different islands have different amounts of food. One of the islands has some papaya, but, like, you have to wait for it to be ripe. There's, like, one between, like, 6 people. I was there 16 days and I lost 15 pounds. And I was, like, not that high weight. So I looked real emaciated in the middle. You really don't eat. Like, you truly don't. And then we, like, got fire and we would, like, catch crabs, but, like, the amount of energy we expended to catch the crabs, I don't think equated with how much we each got from eating, like, one crab leg.
Or of course you could get, like, the Applebee's reward and, like, you know, you get a burger. I feel like that.
So you know about
like
the Applebee's reward?
Yeah, I seen that. Like, it seems like it'd be like a shock to the system, though, to go from, like, literal starving to, like, fucking greasy ass burger.
You can really find some great videos online about that if you would like. But yeah, the first time we did the Survivor auction, which is very famous, came back on my season. You just basically get money and then you can, like, bid on food. And also sometimes there's other, like, advantages and stuff in it. And that was the first time I had really eaten in so many days. And I won a lot of food and I literally couldn't finish it. And then Yeah, I had an uncomfortable experience after it. We'll just leave it at that.
Oh no.
Which most of us do. Like after a huge reward, like no one feels great. Your stomach really shrinks. Like even after I got voted out, you stay in like a little hotel. Like it's not very nice. It actually became the Love Island USA villa where I was. Fun fact.
Oh,
wow.
So it's crazy. Yeah, like where
They
Rob was like
use
crying.
like the voted off contestants in that show, you know.
Oh my god! Yeah, we're already
move it over.
hot and starving. So
Yeah, exactly.
You I stayed there for like 10 days, and I couldn't even. Every time I would eat, my stomach would hurt like for days. Like it took so long to get back to normal. I couldn't gain weight for so long. Yeah, really, it's like crazy how much 16 days will screw you up.
I'm like, how is that even legal?
I guess we all signed up for it. There is medical staff, like they won't. Yeah.
Like it seems like it would keep diabetic people out or things like that. Like
Oh yeah, they don't let some people on. Like definitely not diabetics. I don't think, or like people with, like seizure disorders,
makes sense.
things like that.
Might be harder to qualify than for the fucking like military at this point. Sheesh.
They made quite a big bit out of Christian blowing his pants recently.
Yeah.
And like it was very cute and endearing, and like, I love that bit. But like, I was also afterwards, I was like thinking about it, I was like, why are they focusing on this? Because this happens all the time, if I'm not mistaken. Like there's a lot of experiences like this.
I would say that on camera pooping your pants is rare on Survivor. Most people.
Oh, okay, because it was because it was on camera. That's
because you're not. The only times you're not filmed in Survivor is when you're going to the bathroom. Like that's it. And there's like a designated area where you're like, I'm going to do this. And there's like a code word we say. So if it's like in the background of something, they know. Okay. So like usually those uncomfortable experiences are not filmed because that would be extremely invasive. So I think like that was rare. Also, I haven't heard of many people where that happened. Like they usually make it to a private space and hopefully close her off before that happens.
Was he like in the middle of a stamina challenge
just, like,
or something?
No, he was just like in the camp. And I don't know if you know, if you're a big Survivor fan, you will know the concept of an aqua dump is the main way that we are encouraged to go to the bathroom. So usually people are in the water. So it's like not so, that was really, it was funny, but it did get a lot of play, a lot of time. So.
Do they walk you through sanitation or like any basic shit at all for like the camping?
We do get like a kind of like a briefing on like safety, what we can eat, things like that. In terms of sanitation, like they just like encourage us to wash our body in the ocean, and that's pretty much it. You know what I mean? Like we don't have anything. There's no toilet paper. There is like a med box area where like I wear contacts, and like I was wearing contacts for challenges and stuff. So that was like a deeply disgusting experience, but there's a little bit of Purell in there to clean my hands before I touch my eyes. That's pretty much the extent of it.
Wow.
Oh, the Purell meta. Wear contact lenses. You hear that?
Honestly, though, it doesn't do anything. Like your hands, they're so gross. Like I was like pouring water from my water. It was the method was crazy. I don't know how it didn't get more gross. Like it did not clean my hands. Honestly, just dried them out.
It's kind of amazing, I guess, like what like humans are capable of. I don't know. It's really remarkable.
You do realize you're like, hey, like I could like not die being out here. There's obviously some like there's people watching you, so it removes like the fear aspect. But that is actually an underrated part of Survivor. I like don't appreciate enough sometimes because the game is so present. It was pretty cool to just like lay on the beach at night and like build your shelter and build a fire and eat stuff from the ground. Like pretty nuts.
I feel like if they ever get somebody who was on the show like Alone or one of those survivalist shows, and then they were like, you know what, I'm going to go easy mode and play Survivor too. Obviously, they'd be seen as a huge threat, but if they can just like befriend everyone by building them like the best camp of all time.
Back in the day, but like
people don't care anymore.
Yeah, people don't care. They're like, this person's amazing. They're so strong. They're providing for the camp and they're winning challenges. Let's vote them out.
Yeah.
We got to get them out of here before
people will people will live in like complete squalor. You know what I mean? If you're not helping their game, like I don't care if you're catching the food. It was all about are you advancing my game? Are we going to get farther? Or, is this work for my strategy? But yeah, I used to be much more focused on that, which some people miss, some people don't. I mean, personally, I don't really care. Like when people are like one-dimensionally, like just like providers, it was like never my favorite thing. Yeah.
I think it's something I'm grateful existed, but I'm glad that the game keeps changing.
Yeah.
I like where it is. Yeah.
So that's a good way to put it.
Welcome to Shelf Stable, a podcast celebrating board games and sometimes Survivor that have stood the test of time. I'm your host, Kenny Katayama.
And I'm the other host, Tom Bowers. Today, our featured topic is, it's just a game, bro. What are the social rules and boundaries that you should enforce, not enforce, allow, not allow in board gaming? And to help us find some of the answers to this idea, we've got a special guest today, Kellie Nalbandian.
Kellie, who do you think you are?
Oh, who do I think I am coming on a board game podcast is what I'm thinking. Okay, my name is Kellie. I'm known-ish for being on Survivor, which is a amazing social strategy game that has been airing for 50 seasons now. I wasn't a lifelong Survivor fan. I was a fan during COVID, and then I just kind of stumbled into it, and here we are. Now I'm on this board game podcast. That has all led to this moment. Other than that, I am a nurse. Now I'm a nurse practitioner, so I've been working as a nurse for a long time. I'm a member of the LGBTQ community. I'm highly competitive, which has led me to Survivor, to board games, to all that kind of stuff.
You have some podcasting.
Yeah, I had a podcast. Yeah. Well, I mean, it will come back at some point for any Survivor fans listening. I had a podcast with Michelle Fitzgerald, who is an iconic puzzle solver, and I love her. We're kind of got the same little vibe going. We're brunettes, blue eyes, fast talkers, like to party a little. So we had a podcast called The Social Game, which was a little bit of a nod to the social game that you have on Survivor, which kind of is, I would say, is both of our strengths. So much of Survivor podcasts are like very strategy focused and like breaking down the episode. I didn't really have any stuff where you're kind of just like shooting the shit and like having fun and like getting to know the people who have been on these shows beyond what their edit is on the show. So we would like, we would have someone come like sit on Michelle's couch, have some wine, chat, play some hilarious games, get them a little loose and uncomfortable. And that was the premise of the podcast. And we had a lot of fun with it. And we actually got pretty good viewership and pretty good buy-in. The problem is, Michelle is filming a lot and I'm sometimes going away. So for us to align our schedules again, the stars have to align, but hoping to bring it back in the summer on a bigger network. So stay tuned. And if anyone wants to help out who's listening, let me know.
Kellie, we have to know. Are you ready?
Okay.
I don't know which one I want to start with here.
I'm a little afraid, but that's good.
Let's do this one. Do it for Gab. What's the origins of that phrase?
Oh, okay. That's so cute. Okay, so do it for Gabby is the only mention. This is like one of my gripes with my Survivor edit. Like I had a very generous edit strategy wise, but did not a lot of personal content. And I was never mentioned that my wife is named Gabby. Never mentioned like my sexuality or like my wife. And I talked about her so much. And so the challenge that I won individually was this challenge. I'll explain it for Thomas and the listeners, where you just hang on a pole for as long as possible on tiny little footholds, and it's extremely painful. And it's like probably one of the most iconic Survivor challenges ever. So it was one I deeply wanted to win. I was very motivated and I thought I could. And also I'm pretty good friends with Parvati, but she's one of my favorite players of all time. And she's kind of known for this challenge. So I really wanted to win. I ended up winning immunity. And then me and Dee, who's my best friend now, were like facing off to win tacos. And my friend Kendra, who was on the bench, yelled, "Do it for Gabby." And that made it into the episode. So that was my wife's sole mention on Survivor 45, which is a little bummer. But that was the origin. So it was very cute, and it did actually motivate me, and I'm glad it made it in there. And it's sort of like a little lore that some of my fans have held on to.
It's great. It's a soul mention.
Hopefully, maybe we'll get on Blood versus Water one day or do something together. So yeah, fingers crossed.
Let's follow that theme. Tell me the significance of the Beatles and the Arctic Monkeys.
Oh my God. Okay, so this is from Penny. I feel like it's so funny. So those are like my wedding. I just got married in October.
Congrats. Wow.
Thank you. It was like a long time coming because we got engaged before Survivor, and then I had all this casting and it really delayed it. So the Arctic Monkeys are like, first dance is to their cover of Baby I'm Yours. Have you ever heard it? If you guys like the Arctic Monkeys. And then we listened to the Arctic Monkeys a lot at the beginning of our relationship. So that was special. And then the Beatles, we that's like a big thing for me and my dad. I'm like a huge Beatles fan. I've been to Liverpool and done the whole thing. And he's a huge Beatles fan. I play music.
Done the bit where you walk on the street like them, get the picture?
Yeah, on Abbey Road. Yeah, that's actually in London. But yes, all through. Yeah, it's so I love the Beatles. And so my dad and I's not first dance, LOL, father-daughter dance was to the Beatles. And then we also walked out to She Loves You. Like when we left the ceremony, She Loves You. Yeah, so that was cute. Try to keep it for the gals and also a Beatles song. And yeah, In My Life was the song with my dad, and that's like one of my favorite songs of all time. I love the Beatles. So wow, you did do your research.
Okay, I got another one that's kind of fun. A lot of people are commenting about Emily's game on the current season being very different from last time, being a little bit more chaotic. I would say that you have the one and only documented footage of the impending chaos, because you have a picture of her mixing White Claw with boxed wine to form some kind of chaotic cocktail. You tell me about, first of all, like, what was the reasoning between mixing those two?
What do you call that?
Guys, I don't think she was actually mixing them. That picture was from after our Survivor season filmed, but before it aired. I had almost our entire cast up to my family has a house in Cape Cod in Massachusetts. And so they all came to our house. It was a little overcrowded. We just kind of like hung out and like healed wounds and such, partied. And this is from that. So Emily like loves to say how much she loves cheap wine. So like she loves Franzia. So like we bought that box of wine for and because of Emily. And I do think she had just like finished the White Claw and was just filling the White Claw can with wine for like portability purposes.
Yeah, right. So sustainability, recycle, reuse. Yeah.
I'm sure there was a little bit of residual mixing, and you know what? That is on brand for Emily. And people are like, she's playing so much more chaotically. I think that Emily is exactly as who she is. Like, she is a very chaotic player. She's very blunt. She says what she thinks. This is all very par for the course for Emily. And people like to tell her information because I think she gives off this, she has kind of like an unassuming vibe about her. And because she's so blunt and honest, I think people feel like they can really trust her, like, which is probably true, but also means she's got a lot of information to spread around. So it's been very fun to watch her play. It's like definitely not my style, but I don't think it's like entirely shocking.
I think as long as people understand how she's approaching it, I think it can be a really powerful way to navigate the game.
I mean, she's not really in trouble. You know what I mean? So it's
exactly.
I'm jealous of people like this, like who are able to like subserve this threat label. Like I have very big trouble doing it, and Emily is able to do it, even though she is like a smart girl. For some reason, people don't peg her immediately as, and I think being on season 50 is like a different beast because everyone's so scary and threatening and has stuff behind them, and they're there with such huge legends, so that helps. But still, like that's a true Survivor skill that I don't have the answer to.
I kind of think when it's a game where like you can never really be certain who you trust, having somebody who has almost like an impulsive level of honesty, be an ally is a huge asset. But
then she just can sink your game so easy.
I was going to say it's totally easy to underestimate them. Yeah, exactly. I'm really interested in her game. Having only just started 45. I mean,
you have much to enjoy
stage of Survivor fandom. So yeah, we're gonna get there. All right, Kenny, what's next?
It is said that you at one point knew all of the NFL top quarterbacks from the early 2000s.
Yeah,
is that still the case?
I mean, I knew more than quarterbacks. I don't know about now. I don't like it anymore. I'm like a soccer girl now. But when I was a child, I was like obsessed with Madden and football. I was pretty big tomboy. So yeah, I knew a like ungodly amount about the NFL. I played fantasy football against my dad's friends and I would win.
Nice.
I still like do like the March Madness bracket. I play against all his like college friends. I'm like also again about to win. I don't know. I'm pretty good at fantasy sports.
Wow.
But yeah, I knew I loved playing Madden. I would like redraft the whole league. I don't know if you guys ever played Madden, but like you could like do a franchise mode. This is like so nerdy. Instead of just like playing Madden, I was like, let me run the team at age 8. And so I was like redrafting them. So when you would do that, like their names with their like number and like all their information would be up there. So I just sort of knew everyone. And I would know more than the boys in my class. And my dad has always said that his proudest moment was when he went to my like 4th grade class. And like all the boys' parents went up to him and were like, how did you get your daughter to know all this information? So yeah, that's so funny. You can try to quiz me. Like, I don't know, like the Madden 2003 covers Marshall Fogg, I remember stuff. 2004 is Michael Vick. Number 4, Atlanta Falcons. Like, we can keep going.
I think the reason Kenny said we're not going to quiz you is because we can't quiz you. We're so uninformed on football. I don't know if you ever played NFL Blitz back in the day.
I know of it. Yes.
Oh, okay. That was a really fun video game for me. But my favorite thing to do in it was to like yell "hut" way too many times to the quarterback. It'd somehow make all the defensive linemen just fall over. I don't know if it was like a glitch or what, but you just go, hi, 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 and then they just all stumble. And it really cracked me up as a kid.
Do you have experiences that you want to share or tips for navigating a foreign country as far as like visiting Thailand?
Okay. I'm an aggressive like travel planner. I just went to Thailand for my honeymoon for almost 3 weeks. When I go somewhere new, I would like to experience everything. I'm not like super type A in terms of like, I don't have like a literal spreadsheet, but like I have lofty goals for the amount of experiences we're going to have in this period of time that we're there. So I just drag my wife everywhere and she just follows whatever I want to do in terms of the travel, which is nice for her. It's like she would help me plan, but I just like can't help myself and I have to do it. So I had a great time. I don't know if anyone do you actually want to hear my advice?
Yeah, I would love general tips on.
Well, I would say if you can afford it, you want to fly in, business class there because the flight is extremely long. Took us 24 hours from New York. We flew 19 hours to Singapore and then to Bangkok. And then we did we were in Bangkok a little bit. Then we did a whole like southern Thailand island popping tour, which was super fun. My biggest tip there is like whenever you go to these like tourist spots, it's worth it to wake up at like 4 a.m. and like take an early boat and then you just beat the crowds and no one's there. So we did that a little bit and that was pretty sick. And then we flew over and went to Chiang Mai and Bangkok and like went around and did like cultural travel stuff. That's the best part about Thailand, in my opinion, is you can do like veg on the beach, White Lotus style type of stuff and party. And then you can also like go do hikes and culture and all this amazing stuff. So and the food it's so cheap there. Like, so once you get there, it's cheap as hell. And the food is incredible. Experience. So it was the best experience ever. I would highly recommend for people to go there. And also great. I felt very comfortable LGBT honeymooning there, which was a priority for me. So that was really nice. And yeah, it was like, you're staying in like, even if you stay in like a 5-star resort, it's like no money, but it's ratio wise, like so much more affordable than it would be if you're like in the Caribbean or something. So once you get there, it's amazing. And there's not a lot of Americans there, which is honestly a plus.
Thailand. Great. Wow. Thanks so much. No, that's like too disingenuous. We just got cut off for a second, but we're back. We were talking about Thailand, but I think we were wrapping up.
I feel wrapped on Thailand.
Do we feel warmed up enough to talk board games? Is it board games time?
Let's do it.
Yeah, maybe it's time to just talk about some board games we've been playing recently. And what is the game of all games for you right now?
I mean, I've been a little less recently because I've been so busy, but I think like I've recently gotten into Seven Wonders. That is my newest like purchase, and I have a couple friends who are into it too. So we're all like learning together. And I'm a very big fan of the video game Civilization. So that was sort of how I got led to Seven Wonders, because it's kind of in the same theme, even though I'm not really a history buff at all. So I don't know why this is like drawing to me, but
I don't think
I'm really
history to appreciate, just seeing the stuff build up. Yeah.
It's like being the overlord. You know what I mean? Maybe that's what it is. I like having the power. So I love Seven Wonders.
The destiny.
You'll learn, involved. Thomas, as you watch more Survivor.
Oh, I see. Okay.
My desire for control.
It sounds like the resource collecting specifically is one of the things that you love about Civ, or at least Civ 6 in particular.
So, what the hell? This is so yeah, I do love resource management games, like deeply. I'm really obsessed with this game called Settlement Survival. It's unbelievably niche. This is video games. Sorry, it is like heavy duty like resource management, like supply chain, build up a town from nothing. But it's like very, very like the supply chains have like 8 steps by the end. So it's a little gritty, but I love it. I don't know. I'm like obsessed with it. I like to build things from the ground up. Dawn of Man, it's kind of like that, but more city builder. It's sort of like a cross between like Sim City and like a medieval game and like a resource management town game. You're not like managing citizens on like a person level, but like it's like worker management, policy management, and then like a lot of like resource and like
something you would play, Tom.
It almost looks like medieval roller coaster tycoon.
That's a great way to describe it. And I grew up heavily obsessed with Roller Coaster Tycoon and tycoon games in general. Yeah. Again, we're back on the control theme. So I love tycoon games. I was obsessed with Zoo Tycoon as a kid, if you guys knew that.
I played that one a little bit. I definitely Roller Coaster was like the one for me. And I just recently watched like a 30-minute video about the weird intricacies of the nausea system in Roller Coaster Tycoon. It's crazy how detailed it is.
They were
It's
like,
wild.
we really have to make sure we engineer that into the game. Realistic nausea levels between people. Oh yeah, I love.
Yeah.
I like played. I like downloaded it like a version of like Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 like probably like 2 years ago. I was playing it.
One of the earliest like traumatizing moments for me in video gaming was the second level of Roller Coaster Tycoon. It's called like Desert Dunes or something like that. And like if you don't do anything, like about 20 or 30 minutes in, all of a sudden it'll be like beep, 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 27 people fucking died, you idiot. Like a roller coaster blew up. Yeah, because they can die. Rough. It turns out you have to hire mechanics, which I did not know.
Gotta learn that the hard way.
Yeah.
They got to do the nausea expansion for Seven Wonders, though.
Oh my god!
Your population can eat too much and then like get sick, or they go on a crazy ride.
So, how much Seven Wonders have you played? Like, what normally is your player count with that?
I mean, usually I just have like, so the people I usually play with, two of my are like best couple friend, or the other ones people who we know who like actually like board games. So it's usually 4 of us playing most of these games. And or I do play board games with my family as well, but we're all very competitive, so it gets a little bit heated. And the board game level is simpler, I would say. Like we're just introducing Catan. We play a lot of Ticket to Ride, which is another one of my favorite games. I feel like maybe that's too basic for you guys.
I don't think so. I mean,
we're not.
However,
on this
I like to be strategic with Ticket to Ride, so I have like a real reputation for like blocking routes and things like that. Like, you know, not just like trying to build stuff. Like I like to get in the way of other people's things. So that's what I play with my family. So, but yeah, again, that's usually 4 people. So I haven't played like how much is Max Seven Wonders? Is it 6 or no?
No, you can play up to 7. You know, put it in the name.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
You know, it's interesting, but it kind of balances out because you only really have to worry about what your neighbors are doing in terms of the military and such.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Do you have a preferred thing to focus on? Do you do like the blue points or military or science?
I'm like, so because of my like resource management, like video game background, like I'm so like proclive to do that versus like the like building my army or whatever. But then like I've gotten so fucked with I've gotten so screwed with army stuff that now I'm like, now I feel like I've overcorrected and be like, I need to have a huge standing army because it really bothers me when I just get like annihilated all the time. I think I've like kind of changed my strategy recently in the last time I played. But
it is funny when there's like 2 people around the table that just get into like a crazy pissing contest of like, well, I have more military than you. Oh, well, now I have more, and they have like nothing else.
All they do is go back and forth, and it's like, oh, it's kind of like Longest Road in Catan. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can get hyper fixated.
So I'm trying, which I also is one of my favorite Catan strategies.
I've had sessions of Catan where like one person places a road and the entire rest of the table's like, fuck you, why would you do that? Like we're just like freaking out like and stuff like that.
Yep.
I've been there.
That could be me.
So there is like a weird stigma in the board gaming community where after you've played like 20 different board games, you're supposed to hate Catan.
Yeah, I figure that it's too basic for everybody else.
Well, it's funny because like people go like, oh yeah, I used to play Catan. But the more you get into it, the more it comes full circle. There's almost like a Catan horseshoe theory where people have played like tons of games, come back and they're like, actually, no, Catan is based.
It's like even though it's like not the most complicated game, you know what I mean? It's like, I think one of the things that I find interesting about Catan is that like there is like a social element to it and manipulative element in terms of the trading, which I think I'm good at. So that's why I like it. You know, if you're someone who likes a lot of like hardcore strategy, which I can appreciate, like you can be a little susceptible if you're not maybe like the most like if you don't want to like lie or like deceive people or something like that, then maybe you don't really like this trading system in Catan. So but yeah, I mean, I don't know, sometimes like simple and elegant games are fun, but I've also played like some of the expansions where you have like the water
like Cities
and stuff.
And Nights and
yeah. So I think that's fun. But yeah, sorry, I got this invitation to this podcast and I was like, I like board games. I don't feel like I'm an expert. So if I'm offending anyone, if offending any of the sloppies or
the slop heads.
I just learned about these. So if I'm offending any of you guys, I'm sorry. And I did not choose to be the representation of Survivor board games, but I'm here.
They're screaming at their podcast.
Do you guys know
now.
There's a Survivor card game?
I've heard of it. I haven't played it yet.
There's this new game, 2 games that are made by Exploding Kittens people.
Yeah, there's the rock one too.
I just set off balloons.
For listeners, Google just decided to like put balloons on the screen.
Yeah.
I just did like a peace sign
you did
thing.
like a
I was
scissoring
like,
thing and all of a
scissors.
sudden balloons.
Yeah, the Survivor card game. Haven't played it, but it's made by the people who make Exploding Kittens.
Okay, yeah. There's a draw rocks too, because everybody knows the most fun part of Survivor is when you draw rocks. So let's turn that into a board game as its own
That's like
dedicated
the literal
thing.
worst thing in Survivor. Drawing rocks. I don't like the drawing rocks in Tribal, and also drawing rocks for challenges has not gone my way many times. So
I kind of trust Exploding Kittens, not to make a game that like Tom and I will like, but more like a game that's really accessible while also being kind of smart. They collaborated with NPR recently because NPR wanted to do like make their own board game, and they were trying to make the Monopoly Killer, which is a little conceited. But one of the things that was really fascinating is they had these field recordings of just like the folks at Exploding Kittens HQ coming up with ideas, and you kind of like heard them in media res, just like having their aha moment as they found like an interesting mechanism. I can only assume that they were experimenting with a bunch of different Survivor stuff, and it just happened to be that drawing rocks was like the thing that like they made work. So I guess I should trust more.
fair. I'm only gonna play Survivor when it's for real. I gotta save my reps for that.
Yeah. You have a whole list of new strats that you're gonna try out.
Don't fix what ain't broke, but yeah.
You're really good at like the social aspect, the political, almost manipulation aspect of games. I'm just like, my nightmare world is like playing a game like John Company with you. And we have a mutual friend, Taylor, who's also really good at being like aggressive with the wheeling and dealing stuff. And like, I'm so bad because like all I can do is like try to be honest most of the time, and then I'll think like, oh, I can get cheeky with it, and then everyone gets pissed off at me because I went cheeky for like 1 minute, even though the rest of the time I've been playing.
You're allowed to get cheeky.
Not in the games I've played. They all just dog on me, and then I just get wrecked, and then anyway, it never works out.
A really good long-term strategy for you to like just be bad at it all the time and then suddenly whip it out and then be amazing. You know?
Yeah.
Just saying.
So Kelly, are you generally trying to table talk when you play games? Like, even if it's like not Catan, like Seven Wonders, are you like, if you don't take that, then I'll make sure this comes around and stuff like that?
I don't think I threaten people too much. Actually, that could be a lie. I'm a passionate game player. If you've watched me on Survivor, you've seen my exit. I will just blurt things out sometimes, not like Emily, but close.
I can just picture your wife like staring daggers at you, like listening to this later. You're just like, yeah, I don't threaten that much. She's just like, what? Like,
I do. I mean, honestly, I famously like take advantage of her in Catan like every time, like because I know her so well. I could be like, you don't even have any wheat. She's like, yes, I do. I'm like, great, give it to me. That's like kind of how it goes.
Oh, that's
but
so good.
I do like to trash talk and like have a little fun while we're playing games. But also, like, if I get screwed, I'll be super mad, which is very on par with my Survivor thing. I won't spoil it for Tom. It's very similar. That moment did not come out of isolation. The what the hell, guys? That is who I am to my core. So that happens during board games too.
Are you still proud of that moment, or has it become kind of your wonder wall of like, that's what people bring up?
It's totally my wonder wall, but like, I'm very honestly, like, I'm grateful for it. Like I've had people like yell at me on the street, like, what the hell, guys?
Oh, really?
I made like merch with like, it just says what the hell, guys, on the hat, like in little writing. And I think it's fun. When it first happened, I was pretty nervous because everyone was like being really sportsmanlike in Survivor in the last few seasons that before I was on. And I was definitely not being sportsmanlike there. But people really, like you said before, people really responded to the honesty and the fervor of how much it was just came from a place of passion and feeling like I was doing well and wanting to win. And so people like when people are there to play to win. So it ended up being like a really nice thing. And I am proud to wear it. The badge of honor. I would obviously love to not lose. Sorry, Tom, I did not win Survivor.
I know. I do know that part. Yeah.
If I had to go out, I want to go out memorably. And I did so without intention and authentically myself. That's really all I can ask for. So I'm proud of it. Hard to watch in the beginning, but now I've like seen it so many times. I'm like, all right, I'll listen to it. Every like edit of me opens with me saying, what the hell, guys? So it's part of my life now.
That's awesome.
Is it ever like the Bart Simpson meme of like, say the line?
Yes.
Oh yeah. People like, if I meet people at like watch parties, they'll be like, can you say what the hell, guys? And I'll be like, yeah, Or if I do a cameo, I'll usually like work it in there. I'm like, this is what people want to hear from me, so I might as well give it to them. But I don't mind.
They're like, can you record my voicemail inbox? And yeah.
Oh, that would be. I know people don't even leave voicemails anymore. I feel like, maybe text tone. What the hell, guys? Every time you got a text, like, don't text me. Kind of works. The other day I was on a podcast and they were like, if you go back on Survivor, like, are you going to say what the hell guys again? And I was like, that's not the what the hell guys spirit.
It's not.
What the hell guys spirit is saying whatever's in your head and it just pops out. So hopefully it'll be something different.
I'll counter though. I think it would be super fucking funny to lean way too hard on it, like from like the jump. Like you're just on like the opening barge and like first thing Jeff says, like, how do you guys feel? You're just like, what the hell, guys? Like, you know, and you're just like,
Jeff would love that. The fans would hate it.
Yeah. The fans would just be like cringe.
I would be clapping. I'd be like, yes, like, that's so good.
Oh, I can only hope to get another chance. Fingers crossed. But I would not. I would try not to open what the hell, guys.
Well, is it time for the main topic we feeling?
Yeah. Do you want to segue us in?
Quick pivot? Yeah. Let's stop this yapping. Enough of this bullshit. People really got on my case that I didn't actually say the word bullshit last time with the last guest. So I'm saying it 3 times here. No more bullshit from anyone, and that includes me. It's time to get into the real meat and potatoes of the episode, the part of the podcast that people come back week after week to listen to. That's the main topic, the thrust of the episode. And we're here with Kellie. You wanted to bring up, it's just a game. I just keep hearing it in my head, like, it's just a game, guys. Like, come on, hold on. It's just a game. Like, I'm not serious.
This fascinates me because we've been talking about it so much, but obviously I'm known for being upset when I like lost Survivor. But I do really believe in this concept. And this one thing that drew me to Survivor in the first place and how I feel playing games is like, I do think it kind of suspends normal social rules and like realities for a minute. Yeah. In the context of this, which makes it fun, both Survivor and both playing games. And so to me, I feel like sometimes people get a little too butthurt, like, but it's fun to like it's fun to like be in the middle of a game and like be upset and like have a reaction. But then like you cool down for 10 minutes and then everyone has a drink and moves on. So I'm very much on, it is just a game, and like a lot of, and how I play Survivor and I play board games is that I think a lot is permissible as long as you're playing within the confines of the rules. Then all bets are off, you know. And if you're not a competitive person, that might not flow with you. But I feel like if you're playing board games in like a religious fashion, then you must be a little competitive somewhere deep down.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Some competition. I think Tom is the most competitive of the two of us, or I should say more competitive than I am. But I think both of us still try to win. Yeah.
I like to think of it as I'm more driven than Kenny.
I'm looking at the shape of the game, you know. Oh, it's interesting how this plays out, you know. And Tom's like, I need to win.
Yeah, Tom, you and I are cut from the same cloth.
That's why I give up when it's just a politics game, because I'm just like, oh, I'm cooked. I can't.
That's so fun. I mean, and it's funny because I don't really like. I like a politics game and like a social manipulation game, but I don't love a lying game. Like a frank lying game isn't my favorite.
Right.
I see.
You know, maybe that kind of goes in this topic too. Like it's just a game. Like the lying, it's like you're so overtly allowed to lie, and like something like I don't know, like any sort of like bluffing game.
Like Liar's Dice. Have you?
I've never played that, but yeah, like that, or even like any of these like Mafia or some. That's like the most basic.
Right.
Oh yeah.
But like anything that incorporates like a version of that. With the Traders, big reality show. Like I find that less intriguing and less fun.
What about lying in non-lying games? So like, let's say there's no rule against it, but you ask, hey, if later on you get a brick, can you hand it to me for free? You owe me. There's no binding contract, right?
Yeah. I mean, this is very Survivor, but yes, I think that's totally fine.
Okay. I would say it depends on the group. Because I think at the end of the day, games are like social contracts, right? And even though there's a defined contract you go into it with, which is the rules, like the set of rules, that doesn't mean you can't modify that, or that there isn't like some things that need to be determined on a case-by-case basis. And I think that's one where like, I'm going to play Catan differently with my mom than I do with my game group.
That's fair. I guess it depends on your relationship with your mom. I personally would lie to my mom. In order to win.
I feel like I wouldn't lie to her in the first game because I want her to enjoy it.
Game. Yeah. You gotta ease them in. That's fair.
Well, I was going. You were just saying earlier, I can use the like lack of political ability to my advantage in the long term, where like every game I'm just failing, cringe, just like, oh, whatever, Tom's never going to win. And then people underestimate me. I can finally get one over on him. And I'm like, the thing is that if you make a negotiation in Catan and then you don't fulfill the contract when it comes around, it's like, even if it's totally fair or literally explicitly allowed, the next time, not even in the same game, just the next time you play that game again, people are going to be like, well, fuck you for last time. Like,
exactly. Everything's a calculated risk. Everything's a calculated risk. I don't feel like I do a lot of like, let me like completely lie and like not hold up my end of the bargain. I think it's more of a try to read people and like manipulate them into telling me information before I propose a trade is more my style. But I think like, if you're real close to the end and you're about to win, this is my perspective too and how I view other people's things. Is like if you're about to win and you do something that's more deceitful and that results in your win, then kudos to you, you deserve it. So then I would like forgive them and be like, that doesn't carry over for me. But this is how Survivor works too. It's like you're allowed to kind of like you're given the space to kind of be creative with it. And if the other person is being naive, then that's a little bit on them, which is interesting to apply to board games. But I think there's space for it a little bit.
Do you think that you have like tips almost for how you can get someone to still respect you or like you even when you've literally screwed them over in a game? Like it's like, oh yeah, sorry, I did it. I had to screw you over here. And somehow they're just kind of like, you know what? I get it.
I do think there's like an element of just like who you are as a person. Like if that comes naturally to you, being like, I don't know, like kind of like socially fluid. But I guess that's like, you always got to cushion everything. And when I play Survivor or games, it's like, if I'm screwing you over, you're the thing in the way. So I respect you. You know what I mean? Like you've played well enough that I need to do something unique in order to overcome you. And so that plays to their ego and might be true. Maybe it's not, but either way, that's probably how I would frame it. And also I think I do abide by it's just a game, bro. And also then I have to be willing to get screwed myself.
Right.
And so if you're playing with people who you play frequently with, I think it's like, sometimes you're going to get bested and you're going to be mad and it's okay.
The last bit you said there is a really interesting part because I am definitely much more in favor of somebody playing as hard as they can if they are cool with the outcome at the end and it ends up being that they didn't do well. If they are willing to do anything and then they are mad when people do the same things to them, it's a double standard.
Agree. Yeah, I guess I'm not around people who are like that, so I don't like...
Yeah, fortunately, we don't deal with that regularly, but we do go to like a public game night once a week, or at least I do. Tom goes not as often. And like sometimes you'll just have a random person that shows up and then you're like, they don't play like the rest of us do, And it's like, it's always a little strange,
Yeah. I feel like I've never played board games with strangers. So I feel like that would be like kind of weird, to be honest.
It can be really rewarding.
In terms of like how to navigate it. You know what I mean? Like I would feel nervous because I would be like, I want to play hard or whatever. If someone's like so different than me and I don't know them, that would make me nervous.
There is like a courtesy of like, you kind of can't play as hard if you've just met the person kind of thing. It's like an untold rule.
Yeah.
Especially if it was your game, I feel like if it's their game, then all the gloves are off. Like you can go as crazy as you want.
I like that. Yeah.
It's very important no matter what game you play to come to the table and be like, I don't think I'm going to be very good at this. And then you get all the grounds covered.
Always gotta
hustle every game. Like that's eternal policy.
I do love what the two of you were saying earlier about the long con. I'm going to start saying that when I lose games of just like, oh, well, I'm just setting up, I'm establishing that I'm not a threat so that you will underestimate me in the next game. So it was all part of my plan to lose.
Exactly. It's like self-soothing and strategy in one.
Exactly.
If you point it out every time, though, doesn't that like end up working against you? Because people are like,
you shouldn't say it out loud, maybe.
Yeah.
You just say it in your internal anime monologue. You're just like, I meant to lose that.
All according to plan.
Well, going back to Christian blowing out his pants, right? It's 4D chess.
4D chess.
He shits his pants, so then nobody anticipates that he's pretend falling on the ground later on at the tribal.
You know what? That's a perfect example of what I was talking about. take advantage of the things that happen to you, I guess, you know?
Just got to leverage it.
Well, we'll have to see how it plays out.
We will, yeah. We haven't
idle
seen.
business.
Yeah, I'm still a little scratching my head, confused as to like what they do from here, but you know, maybe it's a red herring.
It could be. With Rick Devens, you never know. He's always doing some crazy stuff.
What I respect about Rick is that sometimes he does stuff just for the fun of it.
Just for fun.
It's not even like a good move. It's just for fun.
Totally. And I really respect him for that because I like one of my biggest Survivor regrets is like I wish I just had more fun because I took it so seriously because I was trying to win so bad. And I feel like Rick goes out there, and I think playing second time maybe it's easier, but like goes out there and like has so much fun, and that is fun for the viewer. It's fun for him, and I am very enviable of that. And I'm not honestly like I wish I had more fun playing board games sometimes because I'm taking them too seriously and I need to relax.
Well, maybe that's a good transition. Like I feel like I'm the odd one out here, and but I'll argue in defense of like why sometimes it's just not worth it. It's like, at the end of the day, we're here to have fun. And I feel like if I make a move that's so mean, even if it is the right move or the best move for my game, it's like, what do I get from that? You know, like at the end, I can say I've won. But like, if I'm trying my hardest without that move, I am handicapping myself, but I'm still trying hard. It's not like I'm throwing the game. So I'm like, do I do this? Again, sometimes the answer is yes, sometimes no. I'm not saying like always be nice, right? But I'm like, everybody has like a moral boundary that they draw when they're playing any sort of game, whether it be Survivor or board games.
I mean, that's interesting because I think, now I think honestly playing Survivor has maybe warped me a little bit where like, I think my like morality contract is so like out the window. I'm like, oh, we're playing a game. We can do whatever we want. We're like before, maybe not. But I think your previous point is like the context of who you're playing with is the most important.
There's money involved. That's the other thing. So like
money involved. And there's like, people always say like on Survivor, there's like social contracts of like even in per season of like how people are allowed to operate. Like in our season, there were like, we would have these things called office hours, which is so stupid, but it was basically like where you were allowed to go talk to people on a one-on-one basis and you weren't getting side-eyed. Whereas like on other Survivors, sometimes people are like, oh, so-and-so went off by themselves. Like this is so and then it's like really hard to strategize. So our season was kind of like, we're all fucking strategizing. So let's just not pretend that we're not. And if you're off talking with somebody in this time frame, we're kind of like, okay, everyone's kind of doing their rounds right now. Yeah. So that's like part of the social contract. So I think like, depending on who you're playing board games with, that could be applied. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, you're playing with your mom, you have a different social contract than if you're playing with like your best friends who you play in games with all the time and you have a scoreboard of who's won the most board games. Like that's a different, different group. But New Era Survivor is very like strategy heavy. One of the criticisms and one of the positives, depending on who you ask. And so different seasons have different like kind of like permissibility around that. And actually interesting in Survivor 50, I think there's like, you can kind of see the split at times.
The mixings,
And Suri was talking about it last episode. She's like, are we like New Era players will like vote with someone they hate just to get something done?
Just to get something
like, old school people will like be like, I'm with you, we're rocking, and that's what we're doing the whole game. And it's a very different way to play the game.
Yeah, it's completely different.
I would definitely probably have the old school mentality, even if I were to somehow if I somehow made it on, I think I would just go into it being like, I'm just going to find my homie and then ride or die with them like the rest of the way. Like that's just going to be my strat basically.
Yeah. No, and a lot of people still do that. I actually love a ride or die strategy, but the big group I find very difficult. But now it's like you kind of have to play a little dirty in New Era Survivor, or else you're just going to get got. But on my season, we had a very solid, loyal alliance that did very well.
It reminds me of it's just a game. You saying you're ride or die, Tom, because at first I was like scratching my head, but I think you are kind of right. I don't know if you remember when we played Subterfuge. Do you remember that? For the listeners at home,
mobile app game of all time.
So for the listeners at home, Subterfuge is a game of diplomacy, like the game Diplomacy, but it's real time. So you are entirely navigating the game socially. It's a game of Risk that you navigate socially, and because there's no die rolls. Like to take something over, you basically have to guarantee that you have more stuff than them, and it's just a 1-for-1. And the difference here is instead of a traditional game of Diplomacy, you fire an attack at people, and your order doesn't go through until 4 hours later or something. And you see the little thing moving, and then the other person will be notified when it comes into their line of sight. Like they actually see it as it's approaching their stuff. Tom was very ride or die, and we had this alliance, and we targeted somebody like we scheduled our stuff at like 8 p.m. and it struck around like 1 or 2 in the morning.
It's like the only move you can make in this game. Like you just shoot a missile, and then, like you said, it won't arrive until like 4 hours later in real time.
And so the person that we targeted with this, they had like 20 pings come in at 2 in the morning. They were like, "What the hell is going on?" And apparently they keep their phone on at night. We were sleeping soundly, but they woke up and they were trying to navigate and basically counter a bunch of stuff that we had fired his way at 2 in the morning. And when Tom and I woke up in the morning, you know, at our usual work hours, we had basically huge walls of text paragraphs of like, this transcends even though the rules for the game allow this goes against the principle. You made me stay up later. Like, it was like a huge thing. Like, I feel kind of bad, but at the same time, I'm like, did we overstep? You know, some of me wants to say yes, some of me wants to say no, but
at the same time, this is just a game.
Right. Yeah. Is that permissible in this context? Yeah.
That's so funny. Wow. I would never be able to play a game like that. That's so long.
Oh, it was like ulcer inducing. I never played it again.
It does make me think, like, in Survivor, has anybody ever even attempted to use sleep deprivation itself against other members?
I think so. Yeah. People who are like really annoying. Actually, I think Big Brother, I'm not a big Brother fan, but there's one player who was like banging on pots and pans.
Oh no.
Interesting strategy. But there is a lot of sleep deprivation in general in Survivor, but I do think people stay up late. I don't know about purposefully. That's an interesting strategy.
Well, there's definitely quality of life ruining that's happened. Like Russell comes to mind.
Yeah, or people like hide even like recently there was a guy who was like hiding people's shoes.
Yes.
I'm like making them crazy.
Yeah.
You can do that. I mean, I don't think it goes well for most people, and to me it's a TV play.
Yeah.
Which I don't like when people are like doing stuff for TV. I think it's very transparent when you're playing. It's not my favorite thing, but people will do stuff like that, like hide people's things or like hide the machete. Or on Michelle's season, the girl I did the podcast with, there was like a group of men who were like hiding food and hiding the knife that is like, you have one knife. So it's like extremely important to kind of basically make people go crazy, but you can't eat then, you know, it's
or the classic pee in the rice.
Jatia famously dumping the rice,
dumping
the rice out.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy.
Yeah. It's insane.
That's
not right away. Eventually.
Yeah.
Soon,
right.
But,
Right. Yeah. People are not going to forget that one, I don't think.
That would be too far, and it's just a game when you start risking your nourishment.
That leads me into a natural segue, which is like, when is it like, okay, like, you know, someone's defense is to say it's just a game. No, like, you did something fucked. You know, like where, what's the line? Like, where is it? Like, that's too far.
Because even in Survivor, there are examples of that. Like, I think in All Stars with like Richard on the balancing beams for folks. I don't know how much we want to spoil, but like there's certain things where it's like, it does fall into that gray area where it's like, it's allowed under the rules, but like kind of being a piece of shit.
Totally. I think that there's like the Johnny Fairplay grandma thing, like things like that. Personally, I think that's a tad too far. Yeah. I don't actually mind if people are on Survivor being like, I swear on my kids or I swear on my whatever. I think that's fair. I think the being like, my grandma fake died is like a little like that's like crazy emotional manipulation.
Playing the John Company game.
The board game.
I feel like, just to clue listeners in, and this is mild spoilers for what season?
Season 6, 7.
Okay.
6, 7.
So really early on in the show, a player figured out that they could coordinate with their brother before they were on the islands to stage his mother's death. And it was like, he flew out, his brother flies out, shows up on the island and goes like, our mom, like, she died.
It was grandma.
Oh, grandma died. That makes more sense. Yeah. Grandma died, dude. Which I haven't even seen this myself, but like, that's, you know, you're taking an element that's not even part of the game. It's like from outside the game. And so you're like bringing in this sort of like meta context. Now everyone's thinking about how he's like, oh my God, like, well, his grandma like just died. And so that he gains like a ton of sympathy, and it wasn't true. Which is nuts. It's like wild to even like have that plan. I mean, like, it's incredible that it worked or paid off at all. And it's great that it's so legendary, but it's so scummy at the same time. Like,
that's too far.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is too far about it?
So then, hold on. I want to follow on that, right? Like, so you're playing Catan and you go like, and like something happened just recently. You're like, guys, like, it's not that severe, but you're like, my cat is sick. Yeah. Or like,
that, no using like, that's bad.
That?
No, I don't think so. Yeah. I think it's fine to like if you know someone well and like their lie tells or like how you can kind of like get them, you can read them. You know what I mean? Or like I use the fact that my wife loves me to get good trades sometimes, right? That's different. But like if you're like make this person emotionally vulnerable by bringing up something that's upsetting to them, that is too far. That would be, I would say, no talk about people dying, no talk about pets dying, like that kind of stuff.
What about if it's like part of your character almost where you're like, I just got divorced, like, and that's what made me want to be on Survivor, like, because that feels a little different. Right? Oh,
on Survivor, I think that, that's fine. But there's a double-edged sword on Survivor where like, you don't want to be too, like if you have too much of a sob story, people also then think you're going to get the votes to win. So they'll vote you out based on that. Yeah.
What if you're like trying to keep it on the DL, right? But you're just kind of like, the reason I ended up on the show though is because I'm divorced, I'm free, I'm a new guy, I'm just trying to like enjoy my life. So, but you're like playing it off like you're over it. Then you look out into the distance, like into the sea, and you're just kind of like, you're giving them this hint that like you're maybe not as over it as you act like you are, but it's subtle, right? That'd be the move, maybe.
I think that's fine. I don't know how helpful or not it is.
Nobody looks out into the ocean. Like nobody actually does.
Some people do. Let me tell you, Bruce was out there looking sometimes, looking sad. There was one day it was raining like the whole night. They didn't put this in the show, which was like annoying because we like suffered. I was wet for 24 hours.
Yeah,
and
they don't do the wet feet anymore. They don't do
there was one night that was like probably the worst 24-hour stretch of my life. And not really, but it was a hard one. And Bruce at one point was just standing in the rain looking out. Like I was like I'm not doing, it was not garnering sympathy for me. I was like, this is just insane behavior. Like, get back in here. Like,
well, and it probably like double kills it for you if you like pan to the right and there's like the crew and they're like getting a long shot of him. It's like, come on.
That's so funny. But yeah, I don't know. That wouldn't work for me. I'm like, all right. Like,
okay, so I'm just hearing though, like divorce is fair play, but people's death, that's too
I think
far.
people's death is too far. Yeah.
I see. Especially when it's not true, or is it like
I think like if it is
real? What if it is real, and then is it like, well, but like,
you can walk the line there. It's hard because some people can be like genuinely sad about things and have real emotion, but then still use it in like a slightly manipulative way.
Yeah, it can be both.
But I don't know. I still think using like your family's death would be pretty bad. I would refer.
I would say a game of Catan of all things. Like
for board games, that's ridiculous. There's $1 million on the line in Survivor. I wouldn't do it.
The stakes are different.
More permissible. I would say stay away from any things regarding harm or death in the board game.
Well, because like especially you don't want them haunting you either, because like that's a huge risk you're taking on, right? It's just getting haunted.
I suppose.
There you go.
I'm not serious. She's like, I don't know. Yeah.
There are people I played Survivor with who would believe that. So
I did find it really funny because I don't know how much of the Survivor talk Kenny's going to have to cut, but the second episode where it's like, I'm September. I was like, oh, like the three of you were like, we're all September birthdays.
Yeah.
That was like a great moment. And then like the one of them was like, oh, you all like Libras? And it was like,
I said, oh, are you Virgos? And then Kendra's like, I'm a Libra. Kendra was like a big astrology girl.
Yes.
Which is not my natural thing. But I'm like, I have a confession early on where I'm like, this is like a free spirit. But I really liked her. Didn't matter.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So, no, she seemed great, but like I just thought she's like serious about it, and you just brought it up almost like it's fun to think about, like
Yeah, it's like exactly. We have very different viewpoints on it, but Survivor, you got to use whatever you can to bond with people. So I was just leaning into it.
I would do the same thing probably. I'd be like, Taurus, we loyal out here. That's what we're known for.
And there you go. Honestly,
no one's giving me like wood for sheep, and I just go like, come on, guys, I'm divorced. Like, and I've been divorced for like over 7 years. Like, it's like a long time ago now.
No.
Okay. I'm going to crash out for a second. I'm going to do a Northern Line crash out. Like, everybody always gives me shit about the pity party. And it's like, it is just a game. You give me shit about it. So like I'm doing badly and then I ham it up. I'm like, oh, everybody's against me. It's because they've already, pointed fingers at me because I'm good at this or whatever. And sometimes I'm not even good at it. They're just like targeting me. And I'm like, woe is me.
I feel that.
And then one person is like, here, Kenny, you can have this. I feel bad for you. And then I'm like, haha, sucker. Like, and then I end up doing well because of it. And then afterwards, people are like, that was bad. You shouldn't have whined so much because you actually weren't doing so bad. And I'm like, what are you talking about? That's part of the game. Like, I don't know. I don't think it's disingenuous to do a pity party for yourself. That's like such a low scale issue, in my opinion.
Kelly doesn't know, but it's reached a meta context where like Kenny will be like, come on guys, why is everyone ganging up on me? Just because I played this before? Like come on. Like literally I'm sucking ass right now. I have like nothing going on in front of me. And he's like blah, 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 blah. And people will just be like, no, this is his classic strategy. He's just like getting us.
You're doing the thing that we were talking about.
Yeah, exactly. So and then like everyone believes that, where they're just like, no, it was like Kenny's gonna turn, and then one person cracks because we're like, well, we can't all continue to be mean to him. Like he really is like in last place. And it's like that's what he wants you to think. Like anyway,
that's very
every
funny.
Time. Yeah.
I feel that. I definitely get like that with Catan for a period of time. There was a period of time where I like was winning a lot, and then I was like, everyone was getting up on me. And I was getting super genuinely frustrated. So it was coming from a real place.
It's a combination of emotion and strategy. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
it's like I actually feel ganged up on. Do you think that's okay when you're playing a board game to be like everybody's ganging up on me?
Yes, it's true.
Yeah.
If it's true, if it's a lie, yeah.
I honestly, even if it's a lie, maybe, but I've definitely said that, so I can't judge you for that at all, Kenny. I will throw myself a pity party.
Yeah. I just feel like I get called out on it like every time, like I've committed an offense.
Sounds like it's really frequent for you. So
yeah, it is.
I'd have to get into and watch you in the natural habitat to really provide.
That's true. You don't have the full story. Yeah.
I feel like I came in being very like hot on like it is just a game, but then you guys brought it to like familial death, and then I was like, well, maybe I'm not quite as hot on it.
We found the line. We found the line.
Yeah, I think a little social manipulation is fair, but maybe not like complete control. Or you kind of pre-decide the level of deceit is allowed. So then you can kind of play within the confines. And if you're permissively allowed to lie, then sometimes it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the role of board game at the end of the day. It's like it gives you the permission to be a little asshole for like 30, 40 minutes to a couple hours. Yeah.
I think most games are like that. You know what I mean? People have like this. Most people's lives aren't competitive. So it's like you get to go in there and like get all your frustration out.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a healthy way to approach that feeling, basically.
It's only when it bleeds over does it become a bit of like okay, well, like maybe you can't handle this. You're not.
Yeah. So I guess there's probably some people who can't handle the heat.
Yeah,
can't take the heat. Yeah, well, I think that's right there. We got the moral lesson in there and everything. That's what we're here for. I think that'll do it for this week. I want to say thanks so much, everybody out there, for listening. Thank you, Kelly, for being on the show. And thank you especially to Bonehouse for letting us use our song Rot as our opening theme. This is where, Kelly, if you wanted to plug anything that you're doing, you're working on, where can people find you, follow you, all that stuff?
Sure. All of my social media handles are my name. So it's Kelly with an I-E, Kellie. Then my last name, which is very long. So hopefully you can see it wherever you're looking at this podcast. Kellie Nalbandian.
We'll drop links for people as well. Yeah. So don't
worry. So you can follow me on Instagram is probably like the platform I use the most. And then I used to Twitch stream, but I don't anymore. And I have I'm doing some fun projects that will be coming out later in the fall. So keep an eye for that. Yeah, I have a new TikTok with my wife. If you're into like LGBTQ, content, it's called Gab and Kel. Check that out. And my old podcast is Social Game. If you are a Survivor fan, I would love for you to listen to that because it will be back one day. Michelle and I are still friends. People are like, where is the podcast? We're just busy. I have a full-time job and I'm the leader of the ship. So we're coming back. But if you're interested in fun stuff behind Survivor, that's where you should go. And check out Survivor 45.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got it all, saving people's lives out there or whatever, being a nurse. And then you just come home and run the coolest Survivor podcast out there. And then you come on this show of all things. So,
the coolest board game podcast.
The coolest for sure.
Should we add qualifier like the coolest board game podcast where we have Survivor guests on.
That'll really drum up the listeners. You know,
there you go. That's the banner.
I'm going to be honest, but I don't say yes to every podcast that I get requested, but this was a very different topic. So I was like, let me jump in. This is so interesting.
Yeah, it's just a podcast. That's how I always approach it.
We're just having fun.
Yeah. If you're loving the cast, share it with a friend or on Reddit or on BGG. You can also reach out directly at shelfstablecast@gmail.com. All this and more available in the show notes. And if you like what we're doing and want to make more of it happen, consider subscribing on Patreon. You'll get bonus content and Discord.
All right. Well, next week, Kenny, I think we should get into it. Change my mind. You versus me. We're going to find a game one of us hates, turn it into a game that we love, right? Or at least try.
Hope to, yeah.
Biggest bowls of power conversation of all time.
Yeah, a little foreshadowing there.
All right.
Well, Kelly, it was an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, thanks for having me and thanks for asking me. So it was such an unexpected inbox and I loved it. Thank you.
All right. Bye, everyone.